Good evening, good evening, good evening. Welcome to B. Let's Talk, episode 33. Who would have thought I could have got to episode 33? Rambling on, just being me. But hey, today I'm joined by Kirsten M.F. Clark, and we're going to be talking about having a CEO mindset. So let's bring her in. Firstly, a huge, heartfelt, sincere apologies. Hold on one second. I need to put my phone on airplane mode. I keep getting messages. There you are, Kirsten. How's it going? You all right?
Hey, baby. You
How are you?
disappeared for a while.
You well? Hold on, let me just sort my speaker out.
You went to airplane mode, and that was the last we saw.
Now I went into airplane mode because I kept on getting messages, but then I realized that was the problem.
Oh, well, hi,
Can
babe.
you, can you hear me okay?
Of course.
How are you, CEO?
Fantastic. Doing great. I'm going to turn up the volume a little bit. But yeah, doing great.
Thank you for joining me again,
Again.
which is great. Absolutely love having you on. So much good
Thank you.
energy. So when I was ringing you earlier, were you driving?
What? Say that again?
I was calling you earlier on. Were you driving?
No, I was working.
Being
You
a
want me,
CEO.
if I'm going to be a CEO, I got to work.
That's right. Okay, just want to build up a little background story about you. Where are you from? You're from the States, obviously, but which side?
Southern California. I'm on the west side, down low.
Where it's lovely and hot, huh?
Yeah, I wouldn't say hot because I'm in the mountains of Southern California, which a lot of people don't know exist. But yes, we have snow. We have seasons. We have weather.
Oh, you have snow,
And
is that it?
pardon?
You have snow. I didn't know you have snow in California.
Yeah, I know. I know. Everybody thinks it's beaches in Hollywood.
Yeah, that's it. And Tom
No,
Cruise
we
running
have
down the beach.
mountains. We have big mountains with lots of snow. In fact, we have one of the highest peaks, elevation peaks in the lower 48. We have Mount Whitney.
Excellent. Okay, where was your upbringing?
Here, California,
So born and bred.
born and bred.
Good stuff. Siblings?
Youngest of six.
Really?
Really.
Is she a CEO in the making?
That's right. CEO in the making, CEO, period.
Okay, what were your main inspirations growing up?
Myself.
No, come on.
I'm serious. I'm very serious. I learned at a very, you know what? I'll tell you. I was very, very fortunate, and this happens a lot with the youngest of a big family. I was very fortunate in that I didn't have helicopter parents. I didn't have
Yeah.
people, like my oldest sister, all my parents' hopes and dreams were placed on her shoulders. But by the time the sixth one comes around, everybody's like, whatever, they don't even know where I am half the time. And so I got to spend a lot of time with myself. And that is vital. That is very important because when you're alone, you really learn to become your own best friend, and you
Mm.
learn a lot because our intuition, our gut, everything that comes in through our mind, I was allowed to pay attention to it, and that's where I learned a lot of who I am,
Fair
because
enough.
I'm still learning.
But your youngest sibling, does she look up to you?
I'm the youngest sibling.
Oh, you're the youngest.
I'm the youngest of six.
6 girls, boys?
Four girls, two boys.
Wow. Who's the oldest then?
The oldest is my sister. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, and we spoke about family and schooling, college, university. Where was all that?
Yeah, I all California. I got as far as my master's in kinesiology,
Yeah,
but that wasn't kinesiology is a study of the way the body works,
yeah.
but my biggest passion is the mind, hence the mindset,
The CEO mindset. Okay,
CEO
let's
mindset.
get into it. Okay, when you think CEO, do you think the job title or do you think authorship?
You know what? That's a very good question. It really is authorship, but it's also mindset. It's all the above. It's like, who are you the boss of? What are you the boss of? Because, we see CEO and we picture, boss, and we picture a corner office in a big building or
That's it.
whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's great because that does help you to get a little bit more into the mindset of this is my reality. And if my reality and I are going to get along, I've got to take on the owner of this. I've got to take on the boss as such as you do what I say.
Yeah.
And you can't sit there and go, well, you know, I believe that I'm rich. I believe I'm rich, but then you go to the grocery store and you're hemming and hawing about which tomato to buy because this one's cheaper and this one's more, but this one's better. And that's not owning your reality. Owning your
True.
reality is number one, first and foremost, stepping into here. And so when it comes to things like manifestation and creating your own reality, if things aren't really going your way, it's usually because you're being wishy-washy. And the universe, which is your employee, is going, I really don't know what she wants
Because
or
I
he
remember
wants.
when I used to work for a telecommunications company here in the UK. I remember the CEO used to be on the top floor,
Yeah.
and we like, and it's exactly like you said, a little corner office, massive chair, flashy lights, a hot
Yeah.
blonde outside his desk.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a mindset you
Yeah,
assume is there. And yeah, that's your intuition telling you right there. Let's start let's start behaving that way in our business. It's a sovereignty, right?
sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you believe leadership is something you get, or or is it simply refusing to shrink from the power you already are?
It's all the above. It's all the above. You're never done, right? You're always growing. You're always learning more. Is this world
Definitely.
is that way. And you have to, again, we're going into that sovereignty. So if I was a queen, I wouldn't be making a decree and then worrying, is it being done? And looking for evidence that what I told them to do was being done.
Yeah,
That is not that sovereign energy. That's the energy you're putting out. So that's what you're getting. And so you really are, there is this guidance in you at all times. There's always this guidance. You can, like you said, you know what the CEO feels like in your mind. You can imagine being that. And that's your guidance. It's always
mhm,
there for you. But you got to pay attention. What are you saying? What are you thinking? What is the inner conversation going on inside of you? Is the inner conversation going, nothing ever goes my way. Oh my God, I stubbed my toe this morning. That means my whole day's going to go bad. I mean, you got to pay attention. You've got to be the director, the producer, the movie writer. You've got to take ownership of your reality, complete ownership. And that means we're not going, oh, victimization. Oh, this person hurt me and this is bad to me. And when I was 5 years old, this happened. That's not ownership. That's blaming.
yeah,
You've got to take control. You've got to take ownership. You've got to step up as the CEO.
definitely. Okay, if sovereignty is who you are, do habits matter, or are they just reflections of the state you're being in?
Habits, well, okay. Everything you do, everything you experience, believe, everything is part of you. And if you're sitting there with a habit and going, oh, I suck, I do this, and so I suck. Well, guess what kind of world you're going to create? Guess what
True.
feelings are cultivating there? So
100%.
shifting that mindset is not so much about what am I, if I shift my mindset, I'm going to bring to me all this wonderful stuff. It's not about that. It's about giving yourself the gift of being your biggest fan,
But
being
how do you do that
head
though?
over.
Is it like mind over matter?
Yeah, you pay attention to what you're saying. So let's say you don't get along with your boss. Let's say your boss sucks. And your boss is like always picking on you. And every time you see your boss, you're like ducking. Or you're driving to work and all you can think about is, oh God, I gotta see my boss today. And you're creating scenarios in your mind about arguing.
Yeah.
Kind of getting yourself prepared for that situation.
I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say that. Little.
Yeah, yeah, we do that all the time. We create these scenarios of something
Yeah.
that's never even happened yet, but we're ready and we're all okay. That's huge. That's huge. Number one, it's not fun to think about those things. It doesn't get you excited for life. It probably makes it really hard to get out of
It
bed in
does.
the morning. So what can you do for yourself to change that? You can give yourself a much different scenario. Instead of worst case scenario, why not try best case scenario? Try that on for a while. Give yourself a week of trying best case scenario. You might need to like tattoo it on your forehead or something to remind yourself. But what happens when I start thinking about best case scenario and then let it go. Don't go looking for evidence. Just let life surprise you. Let life be amazing for you. Trust me, people who are CEOs, they're not trying to be anybody else. They have come into love with themselves.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's say Tony Robbins. A lot of people know who Tony Robbins is. He's this big billionaire in the United States, and he has created this huge, huge, huge business for himself. And he gives classes, he's got books, he's got seminars, costs a lot of money to go, and he will teach you his bullet point list of what to do to be Tony Robbins. Have you ever seen another Tony Robbins? No,
No.
no. So, so number one, save your money because there's not Oprah can tell you her process of being Oprah. Warren Buffett, who's a big billionaire in the US, can tell you his process of being Warren Buffett, but they can't tell you the process of being you. And so you can spin your wheels all you want trying to be them. It's like if I do this, do exactly what they do, then I'm going to be them. That doesn't work because that was their process for being them. And not any of them are copying the other person. It doesn't
Mm.
work. You have to get to know you. You have to become your biggest fan. But more than any of that, you've got to trust yourself. You've got to trust these thoughts, these ideas that are coming through you. Nobody else is
Okay.
thinking the
How do you
way
deal
you
with
do.
setback then?
How do you do what?
How do you deal with setback? So if you're going to work and you got all these positive thoughts that
Mhm.
I'm gonna have a lovely day with my boss today. I'm gonna make him a nice coffee. I'm gonna make him a nice, getting some biscuits, getting the favorite biscuits. And how do you do with setback?
You, d- you do. What's the big deal? It's a setback. It's not bigger than you. Do you think a queen cares about setbacks? Hell no. She just tightens her corset a little bit more and says, okay, y'all, listen to me. She's not afraid of setbacks. She's not afraid
Mm.
of anything negative that might come her way because she's the freaking queen of this reality. She's the queen of her reality.
Okay,
And
if vision execution, if vision and execution the same thing, the moment you see it, why ain't you already living it?
so you're asking, is vision and execution the same thing?
Yeah.
How do you know you're not already living it? So let me give you a good example of this. Do you think a diamond looks out at the world and sees that everybody's going, whoa, that thing is so sparkly. Look how gorgeous that is. Hell
No.
no, no. You already are. You already are everything you want to be. But nobody told you it was going to feel like you. You thought it was going to feel different. You thought,
Yeah.
oh, when I become a CEO, it's going to feel like this and this and this. Babe, it's going to feel exactly like you. So a long time ago, I had this idea of who I wanted to be. I was going to be this badass chick that was always hiking mountains and taking on all this awesome stuff. And people were just going to be like, God, I want to grow up and be like her. And she never came. She never came. She never came. And then just recently, I was looking back at pictures of things I was doing 20, 30 years ago. And I was like, oh, I was her. I
Wow.
was her.
But at the
And
time, you never realized it.
I had no idea. I kept thinking she was the next, I don't know, something. You know, she was always one step away. I was never going to get to being her. So you've got to step into not relying that I need proof to be this. You just got to step into that mindset.
True.
You've got to trust in what's called original trust. That's you. Because you're going to look back and you're going, in fact, I highly suggest people do that. Look back at some of the pictures of yourself and go, oh, I remembered I wanted to be that. And I didn't even realize I was already there. I
True.
mean, I remember when you wanted to do this podcast, and now you're at 33 episodes, dude.
I
I
remember the
mean,
first
come
episode.
on. Yeah.
You remember the first
It,
episode when I was at work? I got called into work and I was in a little box room. I was in a
I
little small dingy room.
remember. And look at some of the guests you've had. You have had some unbelievably amazing guests. And
Thank you.
that was just a dream at one point and you're already doing it, but you're so close to it that you're kind of like, "Oh, I'm not there yet. I'm not there yet."
Yeah, I always think
Dude,
I'm not there
come
yet.
on. And the rest of us can see that you are there. And we're all going, "Whoa, look at what he's done." But you're sitting there, the little diamond, looking out, going,
Looking out,
when
thinking,
am I
nah.
going to sparkle? When am I going to sparkle? You're already doing it.
Okay, if you're the one writing the script, decisions are ever tough, or are you just or or are they just the lines you choose to speak next? Did you
Say
understand
that
that?
again. Say that
Okay,
again.
if you're the one writing the script and decisions ever, or are you just lines you choose to speak next?
I am not understanding that question. Reword it in a different way. Quit reading off the paper. Reword that question in a different way. Because I'm not getting that last sentence.
Okay, if you're the one writing the script
If you're the
and
one writing the
decision
script,
and decisions are tough,
yeah.
or are they just the lines you choose to speak?
I'm
Do you
still
understand
not
that now?
understanding the question at all. Well, I mean, I got the first part. If you're the one writing the script, are decisions tough? Of course, a flipping course. But you get to the point to where you start trusting in what I call your trembles.
Yeah,
Trusting in your trembles. We New Age teachings are all about positive, positive. You must always be positive. If you want a positive result, you got to be positive. Oh, bullshit. That's only half of who you are. You are not just the positive and the happy and the joy,
yeah,
joy. You get to play there. That's great. But you also get to play down in the nitty and the gritty. How do you think you get strong? You don't walk into a gym and go, I'm joyful, so now I have muscles. No, you've got to lift up some weights. You've got to work hard. You got to get sore. You've you can it's perfectly okay to be scared to death of your reality of what's around the corner because I don't know. It's perfectly okay. But it doesn't stop you. It's never
mm,
stopped you. You still always walk forward, right?
yep,
And so whether you want to or not, it's you don't get a choice. You got to keep moving. And the one thing I would always tell people is look at how many times gnarly things have happened and you've always gotten to the other side. Nothing has ever stopped you. It might
100%.
make you
You're right.
shake in your boots. Yeah, it might make you shake. So what? You
Okay,
still get to the other
was it
side.
really ever a shift, or was it a moment you stopped pretending you were leading,
Was there ever really a shift or a moment I what?
or was it a moment you stopped pretending?
Stop pretending. Um, that is really important. Okay, so recently I made a post on my Instagram about not pretending orgasms anymore. Because who's that serving? Who's that serving when you're pretending to have an orgasm and it's all fun and done, and then you're sit there with nothing exciting? You know, it's not serving you because
True.
this really comes down to serving you. So, same thing with positivity. Pretending to be positive, pretending to be happy and joyful. When you feel anything but, who is that serving? Somebody somewhere is telling you it's serving you, but honestly, how's that working out for you?
True.
When you get raw with yourself, when you can stand up and say, this is scaring the shit out of me, but I'm standing anyway, I don't have a choice. There is something so powerful that happens when you step into that mindset. The mindset of, this is my motherfucking reality. And I have never left me high and dry. I've been through some pretty crazy shit.
It's that
And
boss
I've,
level's coming through, isn't it?
yeah, yeah. You always get to the other side. You always
Um,
do.
Okay,
And
when
that's
you
the
went,
big, honestly, Biggie, that's the biggest of the CEO mindset is to not be afraid of your reality, not to be afraid that you're going to disappear, you're going to halt. Because has that happened yet? No. Do you have any memory of not existing?
it's true.
No.
Okay, when you are the source, is there any risk at all, or is it all risk? Or is risk just another name for expansion?
So if you're the source, what? You
It's
got a
my English
heavy
accent,
accent.
isn't it?
You got a heavy
When
accent.
you are the source, is there any risk at all,
Of course.
or is risk just another name for expansion?
Oh, I love that question. That's very good. Risk and expansion is all the same. It's all the same because it's you. Once again, we think risk is going to feel like this, but then risk happens and it goes on by, and you're like, wait, what risk? Because
Where'd it go?
I know, nobody ever told you it was going to feel like you. It all feels like you. That's why you think, I'm not rich yet. I'm not rich yet. I don't have any money yet. And yet, if you took a look at from 10 years ago, that version of you took a look at what you were making right now, they'd be going, damn, you're rich. Thank God, and it's again because it feels like you. And so you're always expanding. You can't not expand in every single moment. In fact, the people who are watching this podcast right now, they're going to come away from this with a lot of, wow, I didn't think of it that way. But see, the thing is this, guys, you created me. You brought me to you here. You brought Biggie to you. How, some of you are going, I don't even know how this showed up on my feed. Exactly. You did that. You did this for some reason or another.
Yeah,
There's your expansion.
that's true. You never think of it that way, did I?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. What if thinking like a CEO is the wrong question and it's all about the undeniable source of the world, period?
Oh my goodness. Say that again.
You
I
really
got
need to come
CEO out of that.
you really need to come to the UK. What if thinking like a CEO is the wrong question and it's about being the undeniable source of your world?
What if it is? What if it is? What if CEO isn't big enough? Because it's not. It's not big enough. You got to go bigger. And CEO, those letters, that's just a permission slip. It's just permission for you to act bigger than you were yesterday.
Yesterday, yeah.
Yeah, it's like putting on this jacket. I put on my CEO jacket. Now I'm going to carry myself around differently. That's all it is. So there does come a time where CEO, I mean, can imagine all the CEOs out there that are like, "Oh, I was so excited to be a CEO, and now I've been a CEO for 10 years. It's no big deal. What's the next? What's bigger? What can I go up to now?"
Yeah.
And so, yeah, for right now, only you can answer that question for yourself. What does it feel like? Does it feel empowering to think this way? Great, play there. Because there's going to come a time when it doesn't feel that way anymore. Just like, a billionaire looks at $1 million like, "Psh,
Yeah.
whatever, that's
Factory
nothing."
change. Change
Yeah.
in the car.
Yeah, and it's there was a time where the money I make now was like, "Oh my God, I'm gonna be set." Now I'm like, yeah, no, I need a lot more than this. I want a lot more than this."
Okay, if you had to distill into one sentence, what is the difference between living authorized by circumstances and living what? What is the difference between living authored
I'm gonna pull up your questions because
by
damn boy.
circumstances and living?
Hold
It's the
on.
last one.
It's the last one? Okay. Da-da-da. Okay, where's the questions? Here they are. What is thinking? Now, the last one I have is what is thinking like a CEO?
Go on, that would do.
Did we already do that one?
No, go on, do that.
Okay. What is thinking like a CEO? You tell me. Everybody's different. Again, it's just exactly what I said a minute ago. For some people, thinking like a CEO is sovereign. It is owning their reality. It is the biggest you can go. But for somebody who's already there and has already been there for a long time, that's a step down. That's not anything close to what they can do. So you have to answer that question for yourself. You have to. The one thing I would really, really, really recommend for anybody who's really trying to get here, standards. The line in the sand. So how you interact with people around you and outside of you. Do you give people chances over and over? So I used to have a boyfriend that I was just, and this was a long time ago, when I wasn't nowhere near CEO mindset. And I mean, he was so yummy. He was so yummy. He was my dream man, tall, dark, and handsome, and the sex was unbelievable. And it was just like, oh, and he's cheating on me left and right, and he's lying to me. And I'm like, oh, I'm going to give him another chance because oh, please, please, please. And I'm like, oh, he's learned the error of his ways. Yeah, right. And, that, but I learned from that. I learned that I will never, ever allow anybody to treat me that way again because they don't change. They don't change. They
You
do
know,
not change. And so, like, I run this giant property right here and I was leaving for a vacation, and friend of mine's sister needed to make some money. And I'm like, great, come on over. All I need you to do here at my house is water these plants. And I said, I need you to come over. And she, oh, I can't. My son this, my son that. She started having all these excuses. And so the very next day, she was supposed to be there at 8, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock. She's still not there. I called her up and I said, thanks anyway. Goodbye. I'll find somebody else. Now, I was only 2 days away from leaving. And I still had to find somebody and train them. And this is a big property and train them. But see, the thing is this, I know that when I can step into my standards, and my standards where I just do not tolerate that, um, the universe, YOU, universe, sets up everything exactly how
mm,
I want. And sure enough, within 5 minutes, I had somebody else. He came, he showed up, he started acting exactly like I was hoping she would, but it wasn't going to happen. You've got to have standards. If your standards are, I don't tolerate people being late, that's your standards, and you've got to stand by them. Standards are vital, vital. In fact, my post from Instagram today was very much all about that. And it was, let me find it. It says, when you give a person, and a person is in quotes because it can be anything, right? When you give a person a chance, you're really giving a chance to your own willingness to lower the bar.
True.
CEO is about raising the bar for yourself, especially constantly raising the bar, constantly saying in every day, you're going to find out what you're made of. And today I'm going to be a hell of a lot better than yesterday. I don't know how, but I'm opening myself up to my reality showing me. And it always does. It always does. And this is where I moved from, oh, you must be positive all the time, to, excuse me, this is my reality. Do you know who you're talking to? This is my reality. It was like trembling because I needed to have money to pay these taxes and I didn't know where it was going to come from. And then going, you know what? I'm okay trembling. I'm okay being honest and saying I'm scared out of my mind.
Yeah.
And then watching what happened. The money showed up like that.
Excellent. Fantastic. Cousin, I want to thank you. Did you manage to nominate anybody?
I haven't, but I'll find somebody.
Get back to me, yeah? Definitely.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
hopefully we could do another one, most definitely. Love having you. I've loved the energy. Absolutely love it, honestly. But
Oh, thank you so much for inviting me.
anytime. And you know what? You never forget your first person that you done a podcast with. And
You
I
never
remember
forget
that.
your first love.
Yeah, I remember. I remember. I thought I'm doing episode 1 in a few hours, and I got called into work, and my wife was like, "You better go to work. You better get ready." And it's a night shift, wasn't it? So
Yes, it was.
I remember getting up, thinking, "Oh no, got to do a podcast in a minute." So I said, "I got to work," and I said to the guy, "I goes, listen, I'm going to be chilling out in the back for about a good an hour or so. Just let me be. Don't disturb me." So I was in this little cabin, this little room like this, doing episode 1. Boss
Yeah.
levels.
Yeah, and it was rough. It was
It
a
was
rough
brilliant.
one, but you did it. And it was so funny because you asked me to be on again, and I said, not until you get on a better site.
Yeah,
And you did it. You got to StreamYard, and it's turning out so good for
it's
you.
brilliant. You know what? It's so much better than being. Do you remember on Instagram Live when we did that kept on cutting off?
I know. We were having it was a mess. We couldn't
And
even
then
get
we had that guy
on
on
to
Zoom. Then we had that guy
Instagram.
on Zoom.
Yeah, yeah. And that still turned out horrible.
It's brilliant. Okay, Kirsten, listen, I want to thank you very much.
Yes, baby.
You are definitely the CEO and the boss. So all the
Absolutely.
best and God bless you. Take care.
All
Thank you very
right.
much again.
Bye.
Bye. Guys, if you haven't already, make sure you smash a like and subscribe. Take care. Big love.